Masses. Mr. Spot was going along a nameless street, having on only a reddish waistcoat, reminder of his, as well as its ancient times and their kindness and fear, a pair of brown trousers, light yellow shoes, and a faded hat. He seemed to be astonished. The hat on his head jumped up and down and could not calm its hysteria. There was a hurry. Mr. Spot was running to a pub where he made an arrangement with Mr. Stain and Mr. Blur yesterday at 9 a.m. Mr. Spot knew only Mr. Stain, who has been his friend since their mother's childhood. Mr. Blur, however, was unfamiliar to running Mr. Spot, for he was Mr. Stain's acquaintance and had not yet been introduced to ongoing Mr. Spot. Mr. Spot was alone, and that was the real reason for his haste and hassle. He could not miss this meeting. He has been risking his life. Loneliness determined his determined running. He hardly breathed, but did not stop. Loneliness stands on the opposite side of death, not life. Loneliness. Either death or loneliness. He was aware of what he was doing. He almost reached the pub, the Feather. The wooden door escaped from being open, but then it surrendered and opened itself. The fellows were sitting in the corner, dividing from the rest of the world with a round metallic table on one of the three others. "I'm sorry I'm late." Mr. Spot was sorry indeed. "Oh no, Mr. Stain, you're punctual as ever. You do not need to apologize. It's all right. I'm forgiven. Let me introduce my bully friend. I thought I'm your only friend. What a pity, Mr. Blur, Mr. Blur, Mr. Spot." They shook hands. "Join us." Mr. Blur's voice sounded hoarse. He might smoke like chimney or be seriously ill. "Thanks, gentlemen. What were you talking about? I'm sure you have something to add." "Undoubtedly, we talked about nature." A good subject, a real bread and butter issue. And what conclusions did you come to?" "I said, Mr. Blur, nature is God." "Sorry, Mr. Spot?" "I said nature is God. I reckon God can exist, and exists actually, in the shape of nature. This is the one and only essential thing created by somebody X." "And I," Mr. Stain said, "God was once material and touchable, like my bow tie. But afterwards he turned into ideal and unattainable. The major errand of humanity is to make God material and touchable again and time again. If you ask me who has entrusted this errand to the humanity, I'll tell you nature. It is nature for nature to try to get something that shoulders the responsibility for the whole world. The existence of God is a token of human irresponsibility, an obvious idea. But I'm talking about nature, Mr. Blur. You said, Mr. Blur, that nature was God, or apparently is God." "That's right, Mr. Spot, but it was nature which was at the very beginning of the creation. Nature has created the world itself." Mr. Spot could hardly take his breath, which was coming down with the deep smoke of the pub. He pushed himself to start his breath anew, but failed to, and had a rest for a while. His partner went on and on. "Please, tell me what you make of that." It's hard to speak about it in a precise way. How has nature come about? Are you going to throw questions at me?" Exactly." Mr. Spot felt a bit of anxiety. His neck was moving to and fro under the chin. He felt like a baby being born through the anus. He recalled the small hours of the day. His eyes flew brown. His breath was about to breathe with another type of breath. His pupils flew instead of tears. He was getting over and over perplexed.